All right, so let me clarify why my Ultra Sharp Pro actions are not just simply a high pass sharpening method or something else, and actually how useful they can be in so many different situations. And one of the classic ones is beaded water on skin, right? This is just one of the many things that people tell me, hey, I have wet skin on a model. I want to know how to sharpen in a way that doesn't ruin the wet skin look, either the beaded water or the sheen and things like that. So to repeat, NBP Ultra Sharp Pro, regardless if you use the regular contrast slider version or the curves version, which I'm going to briefly go over both of them, it uses not, like I said, it's not a high pass sharpening function where you come here and run high pass at a certain radius and then put it on, hard light or something like that. It's not that. It's actually a multi-band frequency separation, okay? And what it does, it's not frequency separation maybe in the traditional sense that you're used to, but it separates these frequency bands, makes them all independent. So it's not just the entire set of frequencies run through a certain process and then you can enhance tonal contrast and micro contrast. That's regular sharpening, so to speak. This allows you to mess with each frequency, or rather frequency ranges, independently. Now, what does that mean? That allows you not just to increase sharpness, but it allows you to do negative sharpness in certain frequencies. And that can be useful. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Now, the Ultra Sharp Pro Curves version is a little smoother, a little nicer, and gets you less haloing and things of that nature. We'll talk about that in a minute because it really requires a few presets that come with Ultra Sharp. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're new to Ultra Sharp, the fastest way to get a result is Ultra Sharp Pro Con, which uses regular contrast sliders. Let me explain. So we have the edit here. I've done my skin work, but now I'm thinking I really want to enhance this beaded water across the whole shot, but I don't want to ruin the water. I don't want to blur it. I don't want to do anything. I've done my due diligence maybe with frequency separation to ensure the water beads are as crisp as possible, but now I want to enhance them without undoing everything else I've done. Okay, check it out. So let's run NBT Ultra Sharp Pro Con. It's going to do, like I said, the multi-band separation, which I'm going to walk you through and explain in a second. The first thing that happens, of course, is you don't see anything. You get a layer stack. And sometimes the layer stacks like this can intimidate some of my customers. And they say, oh, what is all this? Can I just have some magic single layer for sharpening? Well, yeah, sure you can if you want to do it directly and simply. How about in a way that makes more sense? So let's see what's happened. We have it split up into high, medium high. Oops, didn't mean to move that. High, medium, medium low, and low. Now, we can customize this. There are manual versions of Ultra Sharp Pro as you get more accustomed to it, and you can adapt it to your own pixel dimensions, etc., etc. But for now, this is a good default that I've decided on after much testing. So let's talk about this. For example, this is not this high layer right here, which if you hold down Alt or Option and look at it, it looks suspiciously like frequency separation, right? Because it kind of is. But this isn't just all the frequencies that you took out of the low layer. It's only the high, and that's it. It's not the rest of them. And then below that on medium high, you don't have medium high and up. You only have medium high. You don't have the higher ones. What does that mean for you? Well, let me explain it. Most of the time, these sharp water beads, which are high contrast, are really high frequency. Those are going to be in your very highest one within reason, right? So how do we modify that? Well, these layers, when you set them to linear light like they are, and the process that was done to create them, like I said, using this multi-band frequency separation pass. Now, if we go to the contrast layer, which is clipped down, it's a simple brightness and contrast adjustment layer. I've set it by default to the legacy mode, so it's a little more intense because we need that intensity to see the changes. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I take contrast up a lot, watch this. See that? Now I've sharpened, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now I've really sharpened all the micro textures, okay? Now that's too much. We don't want to be that strong. That's not the point, right? But here's the most interesting thing. I'm going to put that back to 0. Because if I go like, I don't know, medium? No, let's go to medium low. We go to that low contrast, medium low contrast sliders here, the brightness and contrast. If we reduce the contrast, we're actually reducing the sharpness of that frequency. Let me show you. Off and on. Now, what happens when you start doing that a lot, let's look carefully, you start seeing some haloing because these bands are kind of wide, right? But we still have some nice smoothing in the beaded area. So, let's go back up to our high contrast and let's put that like a 35. Okay, now you notice, maybe a 45, just a little stronger. Let's go off and on. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more so we can see. Okay, so we go off and we go on. Now you might think, okay, well, it's too strong. I'm getting weird haloing, et cetera, et cetera. That's true. So what can you do? You can take some of these low contrast. Let's reduce it a little bit more. That's too much. How about -50? And on the high contrast, we're going to put it up to 50. So now we can take that entire folder. I'm going to close it just to be thorough. Hold down Alt or Option to create a black mask on it, right? And then now with a white brush, even with a flow, if you want a 20% flow, you can do it. When you paint in now, you're painting in sharpening of the beaded water, but anti-sharpening of the lower texture, which means that any of that texture that's going to have a little bit of layover, or that high texture that's kind of embedded on top, will be minimized because you're reducing the lower frequency. Now you might think, I don't get it. And on top of that, it doesn't look that clear on this video. However, it's the kind of thing that once you try it, you get it. By the way, it's not just beaded water. We have all the details on this outfit here. Who knows how you can bring all of this up in a wonderful way while still preserving the water beads and everything else underneath. In fact, let's zoom in here to the thigh and let's see what we've done. Off and on, okay? And we can still play with it. By the way, when you're here, if you were to turn off one of these, you get rid of that frequency band completely. So we've reduced the medium low, didn't mean to do that again. We've reduced the medium low by 50. If we turn off this layer, we get rid of medium low completely. It's kind of hard to see because we've already reduced it quite a bit, right? But we get rid of it and you can barely see it. Now let's go ahead and hold down Shift so we can see the entire effect. There we go. Click on the folder there. Okay, let's turn off the super low one. You see how that goes away. We can turn off the high one and we lose all our sharpening. We can turn off the medium high and we only have the crispest of sharpening. This is not necessarily what you want to do, but keep in mind, you can even take these and take them at, 50% opacity. You can take the medium one, 50% opacity, and you're reducing quickly. You're reducing that frequency. Now it's starting to look a little bit fake, all right, but that's okay. We're gonna put it back to normal and we're gonna go back to our painted in areas. That's gonna help us look a little more real from here to here, and we're painting in the sharp areas that we want. This is what our mask is looking like, kind of crazy, but that's all right. We're painting in the sharp water that we want. Might even work on hair, okay? You can run this on the water beads to get them exactly like you want on the skin, and then you can flatten and run it again if you need to, okay? Now, speaking of running it again, let's go ahead and run it again and talk about the curves, because the curves are gonna be a little smoother. They're gonna minimize some of the banding that you see. Again, nothing's going to completely get rid of banding, but it's going to help because the curves work a little bit better. It's a little technical. You don't have to know technical, but the explanation is a little technical, okay? So we're going to run the same Ultra Sharp Pro, but this one called curves. And what this one does, it sets up the 5 bands that I was just showing you, but each one gets a curves layer clipped down, okay? Now, these curves layers, let's go ahead and medium high like we are. If we move the curve up and down, we're simply brightening and darkening. The idea is to create a perfect S curve or sigmoid curve to create a contrast boost that's completely even. Let me reset that, okay? To get a contrast boost that's completely even. It's very difficult to do, okay? Because the curves are very visual. You can type in the numbers and that's fine. However, we already set it up for you, okay? So if you have the presets that come with it, negative contrast 1, 2, 3, 4, positive contrast 1, 2, 3, 4, and then sigmoid at 128, 128 base. You can technically play with that one. It's just easier to use these. Watch. Medium high curves. Let's put it on, let's not do medium high. Let's go to the high to replicate what we did earlier. And now we're going to go positive contrast 2. Perfectly balanced curve. Let's go off and on. We are sharpening. It's not the easiest thing to see because it's so subtle. So let's go a little stronger for the video. Strong. Okay. Now we're increasing the sharpening of that layer using a beautiful sigmoid curve. Same thing here. If we go back down to medium low, for example, let's come here. We can say negative contrast mild, and that's going to soften that. So we go from here to here. And again, we can make a black mask on here. Hold on, Alt or Option. And then we can use a brush to paint in only where we want that sharpening, which is sharpening the water beads and ensuring that the medium texture underneath, medium high texture underneath is still relatively smooth because it's doing negative contrast on that area. And that's what's going to give us all these beautiful boosts. And then we can still modify, we can still change. So we're not just sharpening a copy of the image. We're taking specific frequencies and we're modifying them as needed. And then we're dialing them in where we want them, giving us a beautiful sharpening effect. And that's the key with Ultra Sharp. It's not just this positive sharpening, it's the negative sharpening. And the reason why, again, why I have the curves presets that come with it is because it is difficult to balance these perfectly, right? So I don't want to overstate that it's like super difficult to work with the curves, but the presets make life a lot quicker. And for the most part, even if you want something in between 2 and 3, let's say on positive contrast, you can just take 3 and then change the opacity a little bit. You make it 70%, scale it back. Works really, really well. Okay, so that is why ultra sharp is superior to just a simple high pass sharpening. It's a way to control the sharpening exactly like you want. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful AI sharpening out there and everything. And what I don't like about most of those is that they tend to create content, and they tend to create pixels that weren't there before. And that's great for like upscaling maybe if you're really desperate. But for sharpening what's there and controlling those frequency bands independently, that is why ultra sharp comes in. If you want a technical discussion on how all this works, I do have some videos on that. I think I still have them online. If not, leave a comment below or drop me an email, nbp@ninobatista.com.